Hashem, may the learning of the Torah that we do today be in the Zuchut of Am Yisrael, our Chayalim and the Chatufim. Today we want to speak about what does it mean, Hachzakat Torah? What does it mean to uphold Torah? And when I say uphold Torah, financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally, with our words. I want to share with you what the Rav Chaim has to first say, and then we'll elaborate a little bit, Belineder. In the Sefer Eftecha B'Mashlapi, the Rav Chaim brings down over here, we'll see how many people pay attention, how many people give their heart to see what's going to be in the future with them. Everybody's worried about what's going to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 30 years from now. They have to make sure that they have the best investments, money saved up, IRA, whatever it might be, pension plans, whatever it is. But how many of us have these plans for the next world? How many of us have plans when it's going to be Tichat Amitim, what's going to be with us? Did we ever stop and think? Did you ever lay down on your bed and ask yourself a question? What's going to happen if Chas v'Shalom you don't wake up the next morning? What's going to be? Are you ready to face HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Are we ready or not? Rabotai, we need to realize one purpose. We need to realize one thing. That the whole reason that the world was created was only for one purpose. Which is what? For Torah. It bothers me very much to see when it comes to Hachzakat Torah, when it comes to supporting Torah, we're not there. We're not ready to help, or we help but not enough. But when it comes to Hachzakat Shtuyot, to uphold stupid things, excuse the language, Rabotai, we're there. We invest, no problem. When was the last time you went ahead and you paid a rabbi to teach you real Torah? When? But to go to watch a basketball game or to fly out to another country or state, I don't know where they're going to be playing, to watch the Super Bowl, that you're willing to spend money. Those people don't care 2 cents about you, but you spend money. Rabotai, where is our priority standing? Where? Is it in this world or is it also for the next world? And this is what I want to show you today. Very, very big problem, Rabotai, the way we are heading. We're not heading the right direction. You speak to people about, what do you want? You want your daughter to marry Talmud Chacham or a doctor? Doctor, lawyer, shoemaker. How about that? Rabotai, I'm not telling people not to work. But what happened to giving importance to Talmidei Chachamim that sit and learn Torah? And because of them, the whole world is in existence. Do you know that if there's no Torah learning for 1 second, there's no world? So you're thinking, no, Rabbi, what's so wrong? What's so wrong? I want to give an example. Everybody knows what happened with October 7th, and then in Israel I'm talking about, right? And then they started drafting people, didn't have enough people, whatever, reserves, and so on and so forth. So they attacked Bnei Yeshiva. So what did they do? So they said, we're not going to give them funds to teach them a lesson. We want them to go out and serve. I'm not going to get into politics, Rabotai. I just want to show you something. So we had a lot of Rosh Yeshivot, you had a lot of head of the rabbis, big rabbis come from Israel. They try to collect 100 million over here in the United States of America. So when we look at them, we look at the government and we say, wow, what a wicked government, huh? How do you go ahead and you take away the funds from people, the boys that are sitting and learning Torah, just because you want to put them into the IDF? You think that they're bad, Rabotai. Why we're better? When people come and ask you to support a Talmud Chacham, to support an institution, to support the Torah, are we there? The answer is no, Rabotai. Maybe we're there $50, $25. But are we there strong? Rabotai, this is a very big problem. If we do not have Torah institutions, we have nothing. What am I going to do with your Bet Knesset? You can also down in the basement if you have to. Today you have people that are davening in the dungeon because they're kidnapped. You could daven anywhere. But Torah institutions, where are you going to get the Rabbanim that are going to be able to teach your children Torah? Where? That can only be done if we support them. Do we understand where we're going, Rabotai? Do we understand if there's no rabbis, there's no life, there's no Torah, there's no life? They're the ones that educate our children to go in the right direction. Then we don't want to help. Idiots outside that are educating our children to do drugs and girls and who knows what. Then we support by going to their games. Rabotai, is this something normal? Are we normal? Listen to what the Rav Chaim has to say. Hine yadua, it's known. Ki tachlit habriya v'chol kiyuma hi b'zchut haTorah. The whole creation, the whole purpose of creation, the whole purpose of existence, that's only in the merit of the people that sit and learn Torah. Ki tichtiv, like the pasuk says, Im lo biriti yomam v'layla, chukot shamayim v'aretz lo samti. If I would not make a covenant with the day and the night, I would have never made the heaven and earth. Comes the Chachamim, and the Rashi says on this pasuk, what are the rabbis, V'Rabbatenu darshu, and the Chachamim, they expounded on this pasuk, and they said like this, Li'inyan, what do you mean, Hashem, what is Hashem doing a covenant with the day and the night? What covenant is he doing? Comes the Chachamim, they say, Li'inyan berit HaTorah. It was in regards to make a covenant when it comes to learning Torah. Lilmod mikan rabotai, we learn from this verse, shebishvil Torah nivru'u shamayim va'aretz. Because of Torah, the heavens and earth was created. Because of the Torah, rabotai, not because of your money. But in order for them to continue to sit and learn Torah, they do need money, rabotai. Can you imagine if all the Talmidei Chachamim decided today to get up and go work? You know what's going to be? Catastrophe. That's what's going to be. You know why? Because these Talmidei Chachamim, they'll teach them, they'll educate their boys, their girls, because they're Talmidei Chachamim. They'll teach them whatever it needs to be done. Halachos, Shulchan Aruch, bam, bam, boom, bam. Bam! Done. They know his family's going to become always Jewish and so on and so forth. But what about thousands of other families that he's not able to teach because he has to go out to work? Did you ever think of that? Rabotai, we don't understand. This is the sickness, Rabotai, of the generation Chas v'Shalom. That when you have something, you don't appreciate it. When that thing is not there, people start, oh, how good it was when we had him. Rabotai, just imagine for yourself 1 second. Did you ever have a Rebbe in your child's life that because of that Rebbe today your child knows how to read? Because of that Rebbe your child knows how to learn? Imagine if that Rebbe never came into your child's life. Well, he would probably be 20, 30 and he wouldn't know how to read and learn. But b'zichud is that Rebbe that gave up everything to come and teach your child Torah. In his merit, Rabotai, your child today knows how to learn. Walks with a black hat. That's not something beautiful. V'chen amru Chazal, Rabotai, and so too Chazal, our rabbis of blessed memory have said, Alma ha'olam kayam. And what does the world stand on? On what? Listen, Rabbi, say, listen. Al havel pihem shel tinikot shel beit rabban. Masech Shabbat of Kuvitat Amud Bet. And the breath that comes out of the mouth of small children that are learning Torah. Their breaths, Rabotai, when Torah comes out, when you speak, you have breath coming, a hevel, steam, whatever you want to call it, comes out of your mouth. Rabotai, because of that breath that comes out of their mouth when they speak Torah, because of that, Rabotai, the world is sustained. Look at the power of Torah, Rabotai. Look at the power of people that learn Torah. Gam ikar matzavo v'kiyumo shel adam latid lavahu b'zuchut HaTorah. He says over here, one's condition, one's existence in the future is also in the zuchut of the Torah. What's going to be with the person in the future in Olam Haba? What's going to be with the person in the future when he's going to be resurrected? Do you guys think it's that simple? Do you think just because you put on tefillin and you kept Shabbat and you said a few barachot and you didn't sleep with a married woman, do you think that's it? You're going to get resurrected? Rabotai, doesn't work like that, Rabotai. This is not a fairy tale over here. You could scream tate all you want. You could do whatever you want, Rabotai. Facts are facts. It doesn't work like that. If you're in, Rabbi Isai. He says like this. Person's condition and his existence in the future is also the merit of the Torah. Like our Chachamim tell us when it comes to regards of the resurrection of the dead. And the verse, what does it mean? Tal orota talecha. What does it mean for your dew is like the dew of light? What does that mean? Your dew of light. What does that mean? Listen, Rabbi says, you have to understand. If it's one thing, if it wouldn't bother me, Rabotai, it's not for me. It's for yourselves. To see men killing time away from Torah. To see children wasting time from Torah. To see wives holding their husbands back from Torah. Not only even learning, not even to support Rabotai, we don't do. That's very sad, Rabotai. It's a big problem. Look what he says. Kol mi sheyesh biyado or Torah. I'm reading it slowly. Anybody who has the light of Torah, anybody who has Torah, anybody who learns Torah, anybody who supports Torah, anybody has anything to do with Torah. Once you have anything to do with Torah, you have that light. Or Torah b'chayechu. That light of Torah is going to resurrect you. It's going to revive you after 120 in the resurrection of the dead. Which Gemara is this? Masechet Ketubot, Daf Kuf Yud Aleph Amud Bet. I don't know the Gemara is like that called. It's right over here. I'm reading it from here. Umatanu bechazal, and we find by our rabbis of blessed memory, Sharatzu Lomar, they wanted to say, Sha'amei ha'aretz enam omdim b'tichat ha'mitzim chas v'shalom. They wanted to say that ignorant people that don't study and learn Torah, they're not going to get up in the resurrection of the day, in the resurrection of the dead. Why? Mipnei she'en lahem or Torah, or ha-Torah, because they don't have the light of the Torah. When you learn Torah, it infuses you with that Kiddusha, that's the light. They don't have it because they don't learn. So how are they supposed to get up tomorrow? But the problem is, Rabbi Isai, if you don't get up, what was the whole purpose of being in this world? So you did a few mitzvahs here, a few mitzvahs there. It's not only about doing mitzvot. It's also about learning the Torah. When you learn Torah, you start appreciating the mitzvot even more. Chazal wanted to say that ignorant people, that they're not going to get up in the resurrection of the dead because they don't have the light of the Torah. Came Rabbi Yochanan and he said, Matati lahem takana min Torah. I found for them a rectification from the Torah. I found for them something that's going to help them. V'hainu, which is what? Ayidei hachzakat haTorah. Rabotai, listen to these words what the Chafetz Chaim is saying. Ayidei hachzakat haTorah. By supporting Torah. By supporting Torah, Rabotai, shemikaimim. Because you support Torah, that's how you're going to exist. That's how you're going to have Tichat HaMeitim. Comes the Yitzhar and tells you, no, Joe, why do you have to give money to a Talmid Chacham? Let him go to work. Idiot. Who speaks that? Who even thinks like that? On the contrary, Joe, you want to give money, so it's for your benefit. Rabotai v'kidmatzinu b'Yisachar v'Zevulun. Like we find by Yisachar and Zevulun. Everybody knows Yisachar and Zevulun, they had a deal. One worked, one learned. Shehaya zil Zevulun chelek k'chelek im Yisachar b'Toroto b'shvil shehichziku. I don't want mom, thank you. He says over here that Zevulun had a portion just like the portion of with Yisachar in his Torah. Because Zevulun upheld Yisachar. Since he supported Issachar and he was able to learn, he had a portion. Whatever Torah he had. For what? For a few dollars? Did you ever guys try to sit down and learn one time? 1 hour straight? Forget it 1 hour, 15 minutes straight. Did you ever try to really learn? V'im ken b'yameinu ela, if so, in these days, shetirdat aparnasa gidula le'meod, the pursuit of livelihood is very much, umitzukot azman, and the hardships of the time, rabula in this part, increased very greatly. Ve'enam manichim la'ayen ba'atzmo be'ez sefer. It doesn't allow you to look into any book. A person wants to learn Torah, his wife says, let's do this. He wants to learn Torah, he has to go here. He wants to learn Torah, he has to go out to work. He wants to learn Torah, his child wants this. He wants to learn Torah, his mother-in-law is calling. He wants to learn Torah. Rabotai, don't you realize that all this is the schemes of the Yetzer Hara? He doesn't want you to learn Torah. So you think you're being a nice guy. I'm helping her, I'm helping him, I'm helping him. Rabotai, first and foremost, help yourself. He's going to tell you how. By supporting Talmidei Chachamim. Have a hand in the Torah. At least now that, unfortunately, if you're not able to learn, even though you're obligated to learn, even if you support Talmidei Chacham, you are obligated to learn. But if you can't learn, at least for the few dollars that you gave, when I say few dollars, I mean a nice handsome amount, not 50 cents, right? Not $50. For that nice amount that you gave him, where he's able to sit and learn Torah with ease, at least your Olam Haba is ready. Resurrection of the dead is ready. You're going to have good in this world. The Gemara Masechet Berachot says a person who supports the Talmud Chacham, the reward that he's going to see is unbelievable, Rabotai. I'm talking about this world. For a few dollars, look what you can accumulate. So you die tomorrow with leaving all the money behind. So what you accomplish? What you accomplish? You want to leave it for your children? You think your children are going to, Abba, thank you. They're going to be happy you left them their will. I made one time a shiur on this. I forgot the name of the rabbi that wrote how they're and from one side they're sad, from another point they're happy because they have so much money left and so much property and assets, whatever. So really, when you're working, who knows who you're working for right now? You think you're working for yourself. Little do you know you're working for some strange person. Rabotai, nobody knows what's going to be tomorrow. Why wait? Why wait? Why waste time from learning Torah? You can't learn Torah, support Torah. You can't support Torah, learn Torah. But why waste? Why kill the potential? Why kill the momentum? Why kill the time? Do something with it. Do something with your money. Do something with yourself. Do something with your time. Rabotai, he continues and he says like this. They're not even able to go ahead and look into any book. He doesn't even have zuchut to get that merit in the light of the Torah so he can have the resurrection of the dead. This person was always busy running around. Listen what the Chafetz Chaim says. Bevadai, for sure. Chova gedola, it's a great obligation. I'll call Adam and every single person lahachzik b'dei lomdei Torah, to uphold Torah scholars. She'al yidei zeh yizkeh l'tchiat hamitim. Look what the Chafetz Chaim was worried about, Rabotai. Through this, you're going to go ahead and you're going to merit the resurrection of the dead. Because if you ain't got no Torah, you ain't got no life after life. Rabotai, this is how severe this thing is. So when a person approaches you to support them, don't take it lightly. Rabotai, do your due diligence. Find out exactly who, what, where the money is going. After you know everything, then go ahead and support. Don't just throw money around, Rabotai. I've seen too many times where people were fooled. They didn't know where their money was even going. I myself personally know of 2 stories. There was a person, whatever, Rabotai, I'm not speaking down about anybody, but you have to understand when it comes to money, money blinds people. What do you want me to tell you? No, the Gemara says. Shochad, bribery blinds even the judges, even the rabbis. Rabotai, First story is like this. There was a certain person, a religious person. He wanted to buy himself a burial spot in Eretz Yisrael. So there was another religious person who was in charge of arranging this whole thing. He got up and he spoke in a certain shul. And the rabbi of the shul, he affirmed it. He said, no problem, I trust him, we know him. He looks, legit. You can't tell from legit. He gives you receipts, everything. Rabotai, make the long story short. This guy that gave him $60,000 for 2 plots in Eretz Yisrael, one day, he says to himself, he wants to know exactly where is this place. So he tells one of his relatives in Eretz Yisrael, I have papers over here. He texted it over to him. He goes and he looks at it and he says, can you please go ahead and see this place? Where is this place that he bought a burial spot? Okay. So his cousin, whatever, the guy went in Israel. He went and he checked. He looks, he comes. Yes, it was a cemetery. He comes and he looks. There's people buried there. 2 spots that he bought for him and his wife. There's people buried there. Then he comes back and he tells the guy in America this story. He says, what do you mean? So he calls the original guy, the religious guy that was in charge of all this. He tells him, 1 second, you gave him 2 plots that were there people already buried. What's going to be with his 2 plots? He said, yeah, you're right. I gave you the wrong information. I'm going to give you another 2 plots. Okay. So the guy now goes back to his cousin. He says, go find out what happened. Rabotai, that's what he did. He went and he found out where this plot is, the new plot that he gave him. He's going, he doesn't even know where he's going. He sees it's a mountain. Mountain! There's nobody even buried there. I don't know if anybody was ever in Israel. It's a lot of mountains you have. As he's driving, he says, I don't know, where could there be a burial? He doesn't know anything over here. So he gets back to his cousin in America and he tells him, hello, the address that he gave you, the burial spots that he gave you, don't exist. Is this a regular mountain? So now this guy, he sees something's not right. So he calls up the other guy and he tells him, listen, you playing games over here. He said, I'll get back to you. And Rabotai, in a week, he didn't hear from the guy. The problem was you couldn't even track it because he gave cash. So you understand, Rabotai, what you're dealing with? So he thought everything was good because he looked religious. The rabbi said he's good. He confirmed it. But in the end, this is what happened. Another story, Rabbi said. 2 guys gave close to $14,000 to uphold 2 Talmidei Chachamim in Israel. So one of the guys said, listen, he's saying that we gave the money, but where's the money going? Toilet paper, bounty, food, chairs, tables. Where's the money going? We give the money that the Talmidei Chachamim should be supported. We didn't give the money for anything else but for Torah. So one of those guys over there, he calls the person that took the money from him. He was a very reliable rabbi, very nice rabbi. And he was very honest. He says, let me ask you a question. This donation that you took, what is it going towards? Oh, he says, don't worry about it. He says, we need to remodel the building. Remodel the building? He says, you said you came to collect for Talmidim. He said, yeah. We'll use your money to remodel the building, and we'll use money that we have. Don't worry. They're eating in our yeshiva, so they're taken care of. So that guy, when he found out, he said, I give you no rights, no permission, not even 1 penny to go towards anything but those 2 boys that are studying learning Torah. Shouldn't go towards anything, even a tissue box. Anything that's stealing. Immediately the rabbi understood. He said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, blah, blah, blah. We'll make it that we're going to direct it towards those 2 students that we promised you. Rabotai, why am I saying it? Because even though there is a great obligation that's placed on us to support Talmidei Chachamim and institutions, you have to make sure that the Talmidei Chachamim are legit. You have to make sure that the institutions are legit. And they're not only building their own accounts, chas v'shalom, or their own houses, while they're saying that they need it for the yeshiva. I'm not chas v'shalom pointing at nobody. I'm just telling you the facts. Now, I want to show you something over here in Even HaEzer. If you think that this Chafetz Chaim is just like that. It's not. In Ibn Ezra and Simon Aleph in Halacha Bet, listen what the Shulchan Aruch says. Ein muchrim sefer Torah ela kedei lelmod Torah. One is allowed to sell the sefer Torah in order to be able to learn Torah. Listen to this carefully. One is allowed to sell the sefer Torah in order to be able to learn Torah. Do you know what means selling the sefer Torah? How many of us, Rabotai, today do just the opposite? We'll buy Torah, but we won't support Talmidei Chachamim. Halakha says on the contrary. A Talmid Chacham comes to the shul, or whatever it is, or in the community, and he needs to be supported because he has to sit and learn. And he says, he doesn't have the funds. The shul says, okay, we don't have. You don't have? You don't have? You have 15 Sifrei Torah in the Arna Kodesh, you don't have? You don't take one, sell it, let them sit and learn Torah. Take them, sell them, let them sit and learn Torah. That's how important learning Torah is. Sell the Sefer Torah, but let the boys learn Torah. Because of the Torah, Rabotai, the world is in existence. Because of the Torah, Rabotai, the world continues to run. If there's no Torah, there's no purpose, there's no world. But listen to this. Listen what the Beheiter says in Od Bet. Bichlal ze isa haspakat talmidim. Included in this rule of selling the Sefer Torah, that's also supporting Talmidei Chachamim. If for whatever reason you don't have the funds, sell the Torah, take that money, and support Talmidei Chachamim. Rabotai, this is not a joke. This is not it's a halakha in the Shulchan Aruch. When we say we don't have money for Talmidei Chachamim or for Torah institutions where they need it to be able to run the institution to teach Torah, you don't have? So how do you have money for the Sefer Torah? 50,000 you spent? 5,000 only on the truck alone, the one that sings you spent? On the meal, did you spend 20,000 or 10,000, whatever it is, it depends where you make it. Did you spend? So any Haknasat Sefer Torah, you're spending around 60 to 80,000. You spent, so you had. But when it comes, Rabotai, for Torah learning, you don't have? Rabotai, we have to rewire our brains. What's important to us and what's not important to us. Everything over here became about honor for themselves. They donate Torah, they donate Torah, they donate Torah. B'le'anar Baruch Hashem. It's one of the halachot in Shulchan Aruch also. But Rabotai, but if you see the Torah, your Torah might be used for 1 year and then it's not going to be used. Why don't you use that money to support Talmidei Chachamim? So tomorrow you could have Tichiyat HaMeitim. When those boys are learning Torah, every second they're learning Torah, you banking off them 613 mitzvot. But how many times do you think your Sefer Torah that's inside the Arna Kodesh is going to be used? 3 times a week if you're lucky? 3 times a year maybe? Rabotai, when there's a lot of Sefer Torah, they start using one today, after they push it back. Next! Rabotai, Chazal tell us, even the Sefer Torah, they have to have a mazal to be read. That's what we see from this Chafetz Chaim. That it is very, very critical for every single Jew to understand what does it mean to do Yisachar v'Zevulun. You have to understand that this is your life. Just like you insure your life, you insure your car, you insure everything you do. Remember one thing. Insure your Olam Haba and your Tichiyat HaMeitim through Talmidei Chachamim. This way you know you're set. That's one thing that cannot be taken away. Everything else can be taken away, but that Torah can never be taken away. Rabotai, have a blessed day.